Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jamie Holmes. Ann has the evening off. Elmira College hosted a community engagement job fair for its students today. Our Josh Studle was there to learn more about the opportunities being offered to young people in the Southern Tier.
Elmira College's community engagement fair was filled with students and nonprofit agencies today. Agencies were available for students to learn about different ways to get involved within the community. Melanie Moon, coordinator of career services and community engagement, explains.
This is a great opportunity for students to learn about networking and mingle with agencies. It builds our strength of the community and our relationships with our community partners. We really have a great time, and it's a great time for the agencies to network with each other too. So we're supporting all of those nonprofits in multiple ways.
One of these agencies was Tanglewood Nature Center. Maggie Gross told Big Fox News how her program benefits the community.
We have over 40 different species of animals, 9 different miles of trails. We also educate upwards of 30,000 people every single year in our community. So what we're looking for today is volunteers to help fulfill that mission. So we're looking for people to care for our animals. We're looking for people to go out on our trails, people to do education.
Students like Joanne Lynn were eager to learn and explore opportunities.
I'm really interested in the different outdoor outreach we have here in Elmira. There's a lot of cool opportunities to help out in the forests, and that's something that's relevant to me.
As an Elmira College alum, I know that this is just one of many programs the college offers to help students get involved within the community. Josh Studle, Big Fox News, Elmira.
UPS is putting out a help wanted sign for the upcoming holiday season. The shipping company says it's planning on hiring more than 100,000 workers for the season. They are looking for seasonal delivery drivers and package handlers. The holiday is the busiest time for UPS. The company says it is, quote, competitive wages and countless shifts for those interested across the nation. Full-time and part-time positions are available. U.S. Senator Bob Menendez has had another run-in with the law, but he is defiant, even with calls for him to resign growing to now include Democratic leadership. While he is trying to keep up with his Senate duties, new federal charges now are dragging him into court. Carolyn Shively has the story.
While lawmakers huddled in the nation's capital Wednesday morning to try and avert a government shutdown, New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez instead was in a Manhattan court for his arraignment on federal corruption charges.
The gravity of the alleged corruption, the scope of the alleged corruption. This is 40 pages of just straight up old school fraud, bribery, extortion.
The prosecution says Menendez leveraged his position as chair of the powerful Foreign Relations Committee to offer up favors to 3 New Jersey businessmen and the Egyptian government, even handing over sensitive government information. In exchange, Menendez and his wife reportedly lined their pockets, receiving bribes like gold bars, money, and a Mercedes-Benz. Authorities found nearly $500,000 in cash, mostly hidden in clothing, at the senator's home. The New Jersey Democrat says the money was from a personal savings account he held in case of emergencies.
I think if he decides he wants to go before a jury and force the government to prove its case and poke holes in it, he has every right to do that.
Menendez says he will be exonerated and refuses to resign.
Senator Menendez, because I'm innocent.
What's wrong with you guys? Why were there gold bars there?
While the White House isn't taking a side, more than half of the Democrat caucus wants Menendez out.
I think he should resign.
This is Menendez's second corruption case in a decade. If convicted, he faces up to 45 years in prison. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland and the DEA administrator recently met with families who have lost loved ones to fentanyl. This as the number of fentanyl-related deaths is surging across the U.S. David Spunt has more on what is being planned now to stop the flow of these drugs.
Families affected by fentanyl poisonings gathering in Washington, D.C. Tuesday, joined by Attorney General Merrick Garland and DEA Administrator Ann Milgram for the second annual Family Summit on Fentanyl.
I am adamant that this is a national security crisis.
One mother reflecting on the loss of her 32-year-old daughter, Ashley Romero, who died in 2018 after taking half a pill of what she thought was her medication.
She didn't know about fentanyl. I didn't know about fentanyl 5 years ago. So now, sadly, families like me become experts.
Garland and Milgram pointed the finger at the Mexican drug cartels, primarily the Jalisco and Sinaloa cartels, who they say are the two biggest producers of fentanyl brought into the United States.
These cartels operate without respect for human rights, for human life, or for the rule of law.
The U.S. Border Patrol chief tweeting that 69,000 pounds of narcotics have been seized this fiscal year between ports of entry. Nearly 3,000 pounds of that has been fentanyl.
We are on pace to seize more this year than we have ever seized before.
According to the CDC, the provisional number of deaths likely from fentanyl in 2022 is almost 75,000, up more than 30% from just 3 years ago. Attorney General Garland says one way to combat overdoses is broader access to overdose reversal drugs, like Narcan, that can help save lives. In Washington, David Spunt, Fox News.
President Biden meeting with his Council of Advisors on Science and Technology during a campaign stop in San Francisco. Mr. Biden speaking before the council on the importance of using safe AI technology and what it means to the nation.
So I'm looking forward to discussing actions that we're taking on two priorities: AI, artificial intelligence, and expanding high-quality health care for every American, no matter where they're quartered, where they live, what their background is.
An unusual assignment for police and their canine in southeast New York. Take a look at this. They had to wrangle a herd of goats. About 30 goats who work for a company clearing brush decided to make a run for it while on the job at a property in Putnam County. Officers turned to their trusty German Shepherd canine to help get the goats back in the pen. The canine is used for finding hidden narcotics in vehicles and finding missing people, but he completed his mission, guiding the herd across a yard, through some woods, and back to the field where their pen was located. Your complete forecast is next, plus this.
Wildfire recovery efforts continue in Maui. I'm Marianne Rafferty with a heartfelt look at the survivors desperately trying to recover any personal belongings. Coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening. We have been gradually working our way out of this cold and rainy weather pattern, but we have been much more seasonable today with that blue sky in place. And we'll see more of that blue sky, but note that here as we work our way into at least the near future, we have just a small little hiccup that's going to bring us some increasing cloud cover again throughout our Thursday. We'll also start the day off with some of those more fog-prone areas dealing with some of that patchiness. And then we'll see that the increasing cloud cover will be associated with a few raindrops that will come into our Friday morning. And it is an emphasis on few. We're not expecting too much for accumulation, more just a disturbance that's going to bring back some of those gloomy skies, but we will quickly turn back to brighter and warmer conditions on a faster note. That's going to take us into October with even a few high temperatures expected to climb into those 80s. Now, as we head through the overnight, note that we are underneath those mostly clear skies, which is allowing for lows to fall into those 40s, where we should be this time of the year, especially with a southeasterly wind that's allowing for temperatures to not bottom out too much. And we'll look at highs to be able to climb back up to seasonable trends, anywhere from those upper 60s to those lower 70s with that light southeasterly wind. And then looking at increasing cloud cover into the end of the day, is what we're watching is that we have a low pressure system working its way across portions of the Midwest and the Ohio River Valley. That is going to run up towards portions of Ohio, but then stall out. It's going to be enough to build at least some showers with this troughing system that's extending into New York. But what's going to allow for that system to fall apart is another low that is just across the east coastal areas farther south to us, and a high pressure system to the north of us. So as these systems work with each other, it really allows for the quiet weather to hold off. We'll even roll through the forecast here, noting that the day starts off with some areas of that sunshine, and then we'll note by the end of the day is when we'll have more of those clouds increasing. So pretty pleasant most of the day. There, 5, 6 o'clock, there's your increasing cloud cover and a few showers sliding along that troughing system. So maybe a few drops. That system to the south brings some more wet weather towards portions of New York and New Jersey. But again, with that high pressure system to the north of us and that other low off towards the west, west. Really not much of that is going to work towards our local area. We're the middle ground between these two systems. So only going to mention a few raindrops where we see accumulation through Friday, only showing a few hundredths of an inch. So now to soaking forecast, more just going to be battling some cloud cover and watching these systems fall apart, and then we'll get underneath that high pressure system. So as mentioned, area wide, we're looking at those upper 60s, maybe a few lower 70s. Will be dependent on how much sunshine. If we can keep that sunshine through 5 o'clock, definitely looks a bit more likely to see a few more 70-degree high temperatures. And then we'll continue to talk about warming pushing in. As that low starts to fall apart across the area, it's going to bring us under a stronger southerly flow, which is going to start that warming trend, even allowing for lower 70s under those overcast skies with a few showers. And then the skies are expected to clear out with that high pressure system moving in. And with clear skies and a warm southerly flow, those temperatures will only continue to climb, as we could see those first few days of October even top off into those lower 80s.